Hello, everyone. Welcome to Light Body Radio with Dr. Lara May. Today, I really want to just introduce myself to all of you and let you know what I'm all about and why I'm doing what I'm doing today. So I am a residency-trained, board-certified clinical pharmacist specialist, and that's a lot of words to say that I am a pharmacist that works in a hospital, and I consult with physicians and nurses on a daily basis to optimize medication regimens and to really customize it to each patient's specific need. I also work with families and the patients to help them understand their disease states and the medications that are prescribed to them and how they can best optimize those treatments to help them get happy and healthy. I have worked in the field of pharmacy for 13 years. I started as a technician, and then I went to pharmacy school and then became a pharmacist. And in 2013, I started down the path of energy medicine. It really started with reading Carolyn Mace's Anatomy of the Spirit, and I was feeling disillusioned and frustrated at work. And subsequently, I took my first Reiki class in 2013 in the winter. And today I am a master trained in both Asui and Angelic Reiki. And I'm also an integrative nutrition health coach. So once I started down the path of Reiki and energy medicine and exploring what Carolyn had to say about health and healing and how, most of our disease states are really caused by energetic imbalances, where we store our anger and our negative emotions, and how we can just allow those to accumulate in our body instead of recognizing and clearing them. I really wanted to be able to teach others how to uncover these blocks, these emotional accumulations, and to get to the root of disease. And, it doesn't have to be like diabetes or hypertension, although it definitely can be, but also anxiety, depression. And I think a lot of people these days feeling very disillusioned, at least in, Western culture, with their lives and with the way that the world is sort of in the direction that the world is headed in. And so I really wanted to help people understand that they have power and they're not victims, and that there are specific steps that they can take on a daily basis to help them feel more connected, to help them feel like they are on a divine path, an empowered path, and working towards their highest self and to, a goal that serves both them and the community around them. And so that's sort of what I've decided to do with my nutritional health coach certification as well, because it's called Integrative, because I do integrate eating styles, because I truly believe that food is medicine, and that's really where medicine should start, is with the food that you're putting in your body, but also emotional health, financial health, spiritual health. How much are you moving? So all of these things, that I integrate together in my health coaching practice, in addition to using the energetic side of things with the Reiki to really help create an all-encompassing picture of health and healing. And so my transition from Western medicine into integrative nutrition and Reiki practice has definitely been the result of many small right actions. Each time I was able to help a patient in the ER without using medication, or each person that opened my eyes to another realm of healing, whether it was a friend or a teacher, being exposed to past life regressions, soul readings, Reiki, all of those things brought me closer and closer to true healing, and brought me also along the right direction. And I say the right direction because it was right for me. And so every person has their own right direction. And I truly believe that that's what healing and health is as well. It's so bio-individual, and it's each person's own signature. And so all of these small right actions have culminated into my passion to help teaching others and to help others understand that they can heal themselves without the crutches of Western medicine. There's definitely a time and a place for all of the technologies and all of the great things that we have in our Western medicine culture, but there's also a lot that's wrong with it, and I don't think I'm the only one out there saying this. So I have a huge respect for the physicians and the nurses and the time and the effort and the passion that they put into what they do every day, but I feel like there's definitely a huge piece missing to truly fixing what is wrong. And, whatever, that's an individual perception, but it's also, like I said before, an individual path. And so much of it goes on outside of the doctor's office and outside of the hospital. So a little bit more about me. By the time I got to pharmacy school, I had chronic uncontrolled migraines. I was diagnosed with irritable bowel disease at the age of 23. I had chronic allergies. I was carrying an extra 30 pounds on my body, and I wouldn't call my mental state anything like super positive or happy or healthy. I was looking for answers for myself just as much as I was looking for ways to help others. Being at that time in my mid-20s, I was already amassing a small personal pharmacy to, quote, control all of my health issues. But I still consider myself a fairly healthy person, ironically enough. And I think a lot of us do. I think we all have sort of a tolerance for how much is in our medicine cabinet or how many things that we deal with and suffer through on a daily basis. And we still consider ourselves healthy until something drastic goes wrong. But is that really true? Is that really the best picture of our health? So, as a former collegiate athlete, exercise was a regular part of my life, although the whole calories in, calories out theory didn't seem to be keeping my weight at bay at the time. And so by the time I completed my residency training, I had developed an irregular heartbeat from my daily energy drink habit. And while trying to function through the long days and nights in the hospital, all of this came to a head a few years ago, and I finally had to start looking beyond my own profession for solutions. And so my journey to healing really started with eliminating gluten from my diet. Even though I've been diagnosed with IBS when I was 23, no one at that time talked about gluten-free or, anything to do with the link between food and these inflammatory states that we have. And so at that time, I did not have an autoimmune disorder. It was very much gut and head. Like I said, I had the chronic migraines. And so I eliminated gluten first, and I started to see a huge improvement in just the way I felt every day. If your bowels are always gurgling, you have heartburn, or you're gassy or constipated or diarrhea, or you're cycling through all of that, it can really, take a toll on just how you feel every day, how motivated you are to approach the day, how resilient you are to the stresses that you encounter every day. And so gluten for me was the first step, and it's really turned my health around. And then the next step beyond that, I eliminated cow, so dairy, and then eggs. And those three things for me seem to be what were my biggest triggers. And then beyond that, so each of these were done over a period of time. And I also want people to understand that, healing is not a one and done, quick and easy fix, unfortunately. So, but I think that also teaches us that we have to be patient, we have to love ourselves, we have to get rid of the judgment and all the harsh things that we say to each other, and understand that for most of us, it took a lifetime to screw our bodies and minds up to the extent that we are. So it's going to take a good amount of time to get back into, the good graces of our happy, loving selves. And so, today I don't eat gluten, I don't eat dairy, I don't eat eggs, and I keep a fairly low sugar intake as well. And the sugar adventure was an entire different podcast for another time. But yeah, so I don't have chronic migraines anymore. I might have like one migraine every 6 months, and I've now determined that that's usually to my lack of sleep or my crazy sleep schedule, which is also like something totally in my control. So that's what I really want you to know and understand, is that 99% of your health is within your control. It's just a matter of being the detective and figuring out, what about the lifestyle, what are you putting in your body, and how is that all contributing? What are the thoughts running through your head? How do you talk to yourself? All of these things, it's one big picture, and it all affects our health. And, to varying degrees, but, some people could have a really harsh inner dialogue. And so even though like they look happy and healthy to all their friends and family, they're like super downing on themselves, calling themselves fat and ugly and stupid and all of these things. And that can take a very physical toll on the body. So we really have to get to understanding that the emotional is also connected with the physical, which is also connected with our spiritual connection and our spiritual practice. And I'm not talking about organized religion, but if that's how you practice, that's great, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people hear that word spiritual and they immediately are like, ooh, sort of triggered, like, ooh, what is that? I'm not sure I'm okay with that, or they don't know what it is. And that's also what I help people do, is to figure out their own spiritual practice and define what that means to them. Because, whether you want to call it God or spirit or source, it's all around us. And it's really easy to connect with that and glean guidance and, really feel like you're on a purposeful path through that connection. But you just really have to figure out what resonates with you. Is it meditation? Is it yoga? Is it running? Is it swimming? Is it hiking? Is it, playing with your dogs? All of these things can be a form of a spiritual practice. So there's so many ways to connect, to heal, and to really shift our daily lives towards something that we can thrive through instead of just survive through. And that's really what my big goal and my purpose is in this adventure of health coaching and Reiki practice and angel card reading. So now I call myself an intuitive health coach, because I incorporate all of it. And each person I help and each person I work with, it really is a custom journey. There is no one size fits all. And so I have tools and I have programs, but each person's experience is totally custom to them and to what they're looking for, what they think they need, what they discover that they actually need, and, how much they're willing to delve into themselves and into this fun adventure of human life that we're experiencing on this planet. So I want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about me and my passion and why I've gone from, just a Western medicine practice to a fully integrative type of practice. And if you have any other questions, I can be reached at laramay@drlaramay.com. That's my email. That's my direct email. And again, that's Lara May, LARAMAY, at drlaramay.com, drlaramay.com. My website is drlaramay.com, and I'm on social media also at drlaramay.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can find me there, and I have tons of resources for you. I have a regular weekly blog that I post everything from meditation practice tips to recipes to we talk about different styles of eating and different types of therapeutic, like elimination diets or paleo or keto or, all of the things that are going on out there. And I also offer purely energetic services, if that's what you're interested in, whether it's an angel card reading or a Reiki session. I love doing distance Reiki sessions, so there's nothing that says we have to be in the same room together if you're far away from me. And by the way, I live in beautiful Lake Tahoe, which I'm so happy and grateful for, but I can connect with all of you anywhere in the world at any time. And I look forward to bringing you more tools and information and tips. And I want to know what you want to know more about. So leave me a comment, send me an email, find me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and, let me know what you want to know, what you want to learn more about. If, there's something that you felt like I didn't go deep into enough, then we can delve more into that. And I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will see you on the next round.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.